Hey, what's up, guys? This is Joey, the CEO and co-founder of Algorithm and the founder of Krav Maga XD. Today, we are talking about leadership, leading, coaching, learning, living, all that fun stuff. This came to be because I was talking to somebody the other day, and I asked her, I'm like, hey, so what do you want to do? Because this person wants to be an intern, and a lot of times when people are interns, I like to just flat out ask them, like, what do you want to do so I can help you learn that stuff and give you some responsibilities that pertain to that subject that will help you learn. And this person was like, oh, well, I just want to be a coach, a business coach or a life coach. And I was like, okay, have you ever started a business? No. Have you ever ran a business? No. Have you ever done marketing? No. Okay, so what are you going to teach people? Because if you haven't done it yet, you can't teach people how to do it, right? Sorry, what is going on with the screen? It looks like I'm really whitewashed. So anyways, that's an issue. And so one of the things that strikes me is that a lot of people are just becoming these gurus online, and they're just starting to sell that they're life coaches or they're business coaches or they're advertising coaches or marketing coaches or whatever, and it's really driving me crazy and saturating the marketplace with this false claiming, and people are feeling entitled to being gurus, and it's hurting everybody because they're not going to provide the results that their clients need. And so when they actually are looking for help, they're going to not have trust anymore in that marketplace. And that really does suck. So really quick, I wanted to demonstrate a leadership cycle that I use and I follow every day, every year, every time I make new goals and everything. And it's the learn, live, lead triangle. So here's the idea. First, let me flip this sucker around. First, whenever we do anything, we have to learn it, right? Great. I think we all agree with that. Once we learn it, we can then live it. So you apply what you learn and you actually live it. Like you do the things that you have learned. Then once you've lived it, you can then lead it. And when I say lead, I mostly mean lead or teach or coach or whatever. So first you learn, then you live, then you lead, then you learn again. Now I'm going to go over a little bit more detail about this little branch right here. But first you have to learn. Like you have to learn how to do it. And that learning could be done with books, with coaches, with school, whatever, or just life experience. Then you got to live it. You got to actually apply what you're learning before you try to lead it. A lot of people are learning. They're taking an e-course or reading a book, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to be a leader now in this space because I just can. I mean, technically they can. They can literally go online, make a business, and do this without actually living it. So that's a big issue, obviously. Now, this is only tier 1. So let's use coaching for an example, okay? So this is if you want to be a coach. And by the way, this works with anything. I'm just going to use coaching as an example for right now because that was what we were talking about yesterday with this person. So first, to be a coach, a life coach, or a business coach, do a business coach. You got to learn how to run a business. You got to actually run a business. Then you can lead people on how to run a business. This is tier 1, I would call it. Then the next stage to this is to do this whole thing over again. So now you're helping individual people, let's say. So little people, oh man, my markers are running out again. So now you're helping individual people, maybe one-on-one, whatever, and that's great. This is tier 1. Now the real entrepreneur is going to take this and go, okay, great. Now how do I make this and learn and be bigger than this? Like how do you grow on top of this? Well, it's actually not that hard. Now you got to, after leading, you need to learn again and how to be a leader. So you got to learn how to be a leader. One more time. We have to learn, this is the hard part, on how to be a leader. So we're going to skip the live. We're going to learn first. So now, let's say we were a coach. Now we're going to be a leader. So now I have to learn how to be a leader. And then we have to actually live what we learn. Responsibility, empathy, authority, all this fun stuff. Then we can lead. Then we can lead it. Now, because you've learned, you've done this, you've mastered this part, now we can master the next part. So now we're gonna be the leaders of leaders. Basically, now I can train people, I can lead groups, I can lead coaches, I can lead people to now, instead of me serving directly with these people, they can serve more people. I apologize for my drawing skills today. Does that make sense? So first, if you want to coach individual people, you gotta learn how to do it. Then you gotta live it, just for the sake of clarity. Then we gotta lead it. Now we can be coaches. We can lead what we learned. We can lead other people. Now to take this next step, now we can learn how to be a leader. Then we can live leadership qualities. Then we can lead people, that maybe these people that we taught in the beginning, these people to teach more people. So now you're building an army. The next stage to this is the stage I'm currently working on with one of my other businesses, is learn how to lead leaders to lead other leaders. So what I mean by that is now I'm in a stage where let's talk about my Krav Maga business. This is a good example. I learned Krav Maga. Then I lived it by training it all the time. Then I started to lead it, and I started teaching students. Then I had to learn how to become a leader, and I started to teach instructors and coaches to lead the students. So now I'm teaching the coaches to teach the students. Next stage is to do this whole thing again, to learn how to be the leader of leaders, to live it, which is really difficult, and then to lead people to teach other people to lead classes. So there's 3 tiers. And then there's going to be a larger tier. So think about it in life, especially in your business, that this could be tier 1. This could be tier 2. Then you could have tier 3. I'm using different colored markers and you don't even know because it looks black even though it's red. But the idea is that you're constantly growing on this timeline. And you can even draw this out. I would do it if I were you. I have it done in my notebook where we have learn. Well, that's not how you spell learn, but you get it, the idea. Learn, live, teach, or I'm sorry, lead. And I'm constantly growing on this. We're like, okay, I'm learning right now. I want to learn X. Okay, great. Now I learned it. I'm going to live X. Great. Now I'm going to lead it. I'm going to teach people how to use it. Great. Now what's the next step? We're going to learn again. Now we're going to learn Z. Great. Now I'm going to live Z. Now I'm going to teach Z. So now you can actually be an actual person who knows what the fuck they're talking about, rather than being the people who are taking an e-course or reading one single book and be like, I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. I have read e-commerce, how to sell things on Amazon, so I should be your e-commerce guru because obviously I know what I'm talking about. Have you ever sold anything on e-commerce? No. Okay. So there's this big disconnect and it's driving me crazy. And I just wanted to address that today. Hopefully, although this may piss some people off, hopefully you can take the little leadership triangle and actually apply that to what you're doing. Because honestly, you got to figure out where you're at right now. Are you in the learning phase? Great. Stay there. Learn how to then apply it. Here's what I recommend. A lot of people like to read books, and then they read hundreds of books, and then they keep reading, and then they go, I've read 100 books. I think that's great. I'm a big reader. I love reading. Every day I read. However, until you apply what you read, it's not really useful for you. So a lot of people are doing, there's a reading, they're going, oh, I just read this book, and now I'm a professional at this subject, and they go teach somebody. They haven't applied it themselves. That's the issue. So what I recommend, when you are reading a book or taking an e-course or a course or any type of thing, take notes, but apply what I do for each chapter of a book I read. I not only do I take notes, but I have a big circle thing that says the big thing of this chapter. Like, what is the main point of this chapter? The one big takeaway. Every chapter has a big overarching takeaway. And then how do you apply that to what you're working on? So the big takeaway is X. How do I apply this in my 2 businesses or my life? I write it down. I then put it in my little notebook that I do on Sundays to where I planned it out and how do I actually apply the actual content of the book I'm reading so I can actually say I've read the book, I've lived the book, now I can lead the book. So it's a little bit different than just saying, I'm a professional. Lead it. And if you can't lead it, don't pretend. I am overweight right now. I used to be in shape. I am not no more. So I am not going to lead on people on fitness. I'm not. I can't do it. I can't live that. So you have to do something like that you actually are truly leading. I am doing good at marketing. I market every day. I have big ad budgets, especially for my other company. But I suck at keeping money and budgeting. So I'm not going to teach you how to budget. I'll teach you how to run ads, create systems, do all this cool stuff. Budgeting, nope. I spend the second I get the money, I spend it. So that's just my personal flaw. I'm working on it. Have read some books on budgeting, and I'm trying to live that right now. Maybe someday I'll be able to teach it, but not right now. Hell no. Does that make sense, guys? All right, hopefully that's it for today. Hopefully you weren't too offended if you are one of those people who are just leading without learning and living. But honestly, plan this stuff out. See what trajectory you're on. So you could say, hey, this year is the year of learning. Then I'm going to start learning and living maybe. And then the year after that, I'm going to start something. I'm going to coach people on how to do better at this and all that stuff. Whoa, what's up, Kyle? I'm going to finish now because you're here. Take care.